She marched right up to my porch like she owned it, clipboard in one hand, attitude in the other, and with a smile that could curdle milk, she said, "This land actually belongs to the community." I blinked. "Excuse me?" I asked, standing on the very property line I had mowed, maintained, and paid taxes on for 5 years. But HOA Karen didn't flinch. She pointed at a patch of my backyard and said, "This area here, per HOA code, has always been considered shared green space." Now let me be clear. I had the deed. I had the property survey. I had the fence permits and every legal document proving that patch of grass was mine, legally, financially, physically. But none of that mattered to her. Because HOA Karen wasn't interested in facts. She was interested in control. She'd already started whispering to neighbors. I'd seen the meetings forming on the sidewalk, the sideways glances, the sudden new rules in the HOA newsletter. That little patch of my land was just the beginning. They wanted more. Then the letter came. A formal demand from the HOA stating I had unlawfully restricted community access by fencing in my own yard. They gave me 14 days to remove it or face escalating daily fines. That's when I knew. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a power play. I could have caved. I could have backed down and quietly ripped out the fence like a good little resident. That's what they were counting on. But I've seen what happens when you feed a control freak. They only grow hungrier. So instead, I lawyered up. My attorney reviewed everything, the property lines, the plat map, the HOA bylaws. And guess what? I was right. 100% legal. Not 1 inch of my land was subject to community access. The HOA's claim wasn't just overreaching, it was pure fiction. But Karen didn't care. She doubled down, started walking her dog right up to my patio, claimed the sidewalk running behind my fence was technically for public use. It got worse. One day I came home and found my fence gate wide open. My dog had run off down the street. A neighbor said they saw someone from the HOA inspecting the fence earlier that afternoon. No official notice, no warning, just trespassing and danger. That was my breaking point. I wasn't just being harassed, I was being baited. So I did what any sane, boundary-respecting person would do when they're being backed into a corner. I escalated. I installed electric fencing, not enough to hurt anyone, just a harmless low-voltage deterrent used on ranches and farms. I put up clear warning signs. I followed every local ordinance, and I made sure every inch of it was within my legal rights. The next day, Karen lost her mind. She stormed down the sidewalk screaming about weapons and child safety and how I was endangering the community. I calmly pointed to the warning signs. I reminded her that this was my land, and I told her, in front of 3 very amused neighbors, if you don't touch what's not yours, you won't get zapped. That moment went viral. One of the neighbors filmed it and posted it online. Within 24 hours, it had over 200,000 views. Karen, red-faced and sputtering, trying to spin her narrative while the internet cheered for property rights. The HOA board called an emergency meeting. They tried to pressure me to take the fence down. I sent them a copy of the county ordinance and my lawyer's letter. Then I sent the video clip. They didn't respond after that. The fence stayed. The fine stopped. The letters went silent. Karen? She still walks her dog, on the other side of the street now. The HOA backed off completely. No more bogus rules. No more surprise inspections. No more gaslighting newsletters pretending like the land was ever theirs. But I didn't stop there. I used that video, that moment of madness, to speak out. I started a blog. I joined forums for homeowners fed up with abusive HOAs. I wasn't just protecting my yard anymore. I was defending others who didn't know they could fight back. What they did was wrong. Not just legally, but morally. They tried to erase my rights with paperwork and pressure. They underestimated what happens when you push a good man too far. In the end, it wasn't about grass, or fences, or even electric lines. It was about drawing a line between intimidation and independence, between fear and freedom. And this time, for once, the bully lost. If you've had enough of HOA abuse, hit subscribe and join the resistance one story at a time.